Welcome to the Winks channel.
Got to show off the custom-made jersey, that Lakers jersey. Hope the Clippers win this year. Just trolling. Shout out to my boy Never Say No, getting that cream. Classic Jim. That's also Hard Rock Cafe album. That's when I joined Never Squad. But now, you're in tune into the Wayne Steel channel. Yes, we did a video yesterday cooking lamb. Hope everybody had a good Christmas.
Hope y'all had a good day. Hope y'all stayed home and didn't have to deal with the crappy streets out there. We finally had a white winter, a white Christmas.
Yep. Didn't go nowhere. Went to my mom's house. Got to surprise my life on the present I got her. I will show y'all that later on. But now, I just wanted to hope y'all like my video, Cooking with Winks. You're going to see a lot of more of that on my channel. It's just not going to be hip-hop, vinyl talk all the time, talking about music. It's going to be other things going on. So that was just a sneak peek. So just be in tune. Now, next week's video will not have no vinyl talk. I'm sorry. We're going to do top 10 albums. I'm going to do top collab albums, maybe top 5 collab albums, songs that changed 2020. And we're going to talk about 2020 for a little bit. It's been a hell of a year,
to say the least.
Yes. So, I'm going to do something different. Jay-Z, Nas, Vinyl Talk, the great debate that's been happening since 2001. Yes, we're going there. After the New Year's episode, we'll do one more episode and we're going to take a 2-week break. The reason we're taking a break, we're going to be filming more content on here. I'll be giving you updates. So the little 10, 13-second promo videos I'll be doing, just watch them because that's going to tell you a lot what's about to happen after the first of the year. Now, after the first, New Year's Eve, we'll do one more video after that. What would y'all like? Because I'm not going to host the second episode of the first of the year. My co-host will.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I will be putting a poll up here soon. Beatles or Fleetwood Mac?
Let us know.
Yeah. So it's going to change and everything like that. Now going on with the music today, a lot of music came out. Not a lot, but came out yesterday. So we're going to talk about some of the music that came out. A artist I've been listening to since 2016 put out the album that made me a fan of his. Westside Gunn finally put up Fly God, the album. Him, Mac Homie, God Fahim just took a picture yesterday. Whew. I can't wait for them to put music out again. They hadn't put out music in a couple of while, had disagreements and everything like that, but when I saw that picture, it made me happy. Like Griselda, Benny, Westside, Conway, I've been listening to since 2017. I started listening to God Fahim back in 2016, but I had heard the Fly God album. That's when I first heard of Action Bronson, Mayhem Lauren, This is when uh your ooh Drew. This is when I found my niche in the underground hip hop. Like that's when I was like, I'm not listening to no more commercial music. That's when I was done and over with commercial music. I still listen to Kendrick, Jay, maybe M once in a while, but it is what it is. But Fly God album it was an epic day for underground hip hop. I mean, seeing that picture to me is like seeing Jay Z and Nas shake hands on a concert or 50 and Game ending their beef. Because when I first started listening to Griselda, God Fahim was on there, Mac Homie was on there. They made incredible music that it's not on streaming services or anything like that. I mean, like Mac Homie's vinyls go for $700. That's why I don't have one. But going on, I'm gonna talk about besides that one. That was the first album I'm gonna talk about. Next album is Banks. This is Banks 3. We've been listening to Banks since 2016.
I really like Banks.
Yes, I mean she's on that bubble. She's dropped 3 albums so far, and we listened to all 3 of them.
She's got a smooth voice.
Gimme, one of her songs is on the WWE 2K20 soundtrack. Godless and Propaganda. Next up, Mac Homie just dropped Lemonade, the album. It came out in August of this year, but it finally came out on Spotify. That's where I listen to all my music from. So it came out Christmas Day. I was up at 6 in the morning listening to music just on my phone, no vinyl or anything like that.
Before the children were awake to open presents.
Yes, I was up just listening to music. She woke up. She's like, "So did albums come out?" And I'm like, "Well, albums I haven't heard since 2016." And she heard boom, 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 boom. She rolled back over. She's like, "I'm not hearing this shit at 6,
6.
6 in the morning." Yeah. Uh, couple songs. Pound House and Soon Jaha Do. Not for sure if I'm saying that right. But going on with the channel today, I want to shout out 2 artists this week. I'm gonna do more of this coming out. Shout out to homie Bingo. He's been putting his work in the last couple of years, doing his music. I've been listening to his music since 2018, since he dropped off Beyonce Backwood. That's how I've been following him on Twitter. And as soon as he started putting his music up on streaming, I started listening to him. Very talented artist out of Columbus, so I know his family and everything like that. Very talented. I've seen him in a couple of shows. I hope he's dropping off a project in 2021. Be good. 3 songs I want to shout out that I listened to. Like I said, Beyonce, Backwood, uh, 4 for 4, Rich Sex, and Living. And then he dropped off a freestyle, Bingo Sosa freestyle. So go listen to him. His music's on Spotify. Next up is my homie. He's from the land. He's in a group called YBG Shooters. His name is YBG Lex. This is off the MC Blitz mixtape. They're from Cleveland, like I said. It's my boy Casino Lex. If y'all don't know him, Alex. We've been homies for years. Shout out to all my homies up in the land. Alex, like I said, Levante, Walt. Hope y'all doing good. Hope y'all had a Merry Christmas and everything like that. Uh, I didn't even write down the song. Oops, I forgot the song. Wait, right now. I'm sorry about that. I had to go check my notes again. I'm looking on my notes, so yeah, right now he's on there. It's on Spotify. Go check him out. MC Blitz. I'm not for sure what the album is called, but type it in, you'll see it. I think it's track 9 or 10 he's on, YB Shooters. So we're going to start off with the great debate. Let me get my notes right.
The great debate.
One second. This is what I've been waiting to do for a long time. I am a big Jay-Z and Nas fan for years and years on. I heard about these artists on MTV Raps. The first time I heard of Nas was on the main source. The song came out in 1991. Just listening to hip hop from my uncles and everything like that. So we're gonna start off with, in my opinion, one of the greatest debut albums ever. My opinion. That's what I'm saying. Nas Illmatic. 10 songs on this album. It got 5 mics in the Source magazine. So when I'm talking about rating these albums, I went and did my homework today from 8 in the morning until like 11:30, doing my homework on all these albums I'm talking about. Uh, Came out in 1994. I didn't hear this album until 96 because I was kind of young in 94. So I would just hear Nas once in a while from my uncles or on TV and stuff like that. So this is what an era when you had to read the credits to see who produced the album. You had DJ Premier on there, uh The Large Professor, LES. Like I said, I don't need to shout out, I shouldn't shout out any of these songs because there's only 10 songs on the whole album. But The World Is Yours, New York State of Mind, Part 1, Life's a Bitch, featuring AZ. AZ has the most memorable verse on that album. So when I say that, go revisit Nas's album. Uh, One Love, It's Hard to Tell. So we're going to go on to a second album I don't have right here. Now, this album is called It Was Written. It came out in 1996. The famous song off of there is If I Rule the World, featuring Lauryn Hill. Go on and tell them.
I grew up thinking that that was a Lauryn Hill song with Nas on it, not the other way around. So he had to school me on that a little bit.
Yeah, I am, like I said, when I talk about some of these albums, I went to On Q and bought these albums. So I remember going up there and buying the tape. This was his second album. Like I said, If I Rule the World was one of his bangers on there. He had Street Dreams on there. The Message, Affirmative Action, featuring the Firm. Now they hadn't out put an album yet. The group would change later as they're putting the album out. Black Girl Lost. I mean, like, this was the Nas album. I realized I didn't have to do that cookie cutter rap stuff. I can just write about what's going on in my life. That's how hip hop should hit you. Uh, Next up, this is the third album. This is, well, put it up. This is I Am. Now, I'm gonna give y'all some history y'all don't know about this album. Originally, this was supposed to be a double disc album, but Napster, LimeWire had hit. He came up with the concept of the first disc of being the birth to suicide. Second disc, he was gonna be a prophet returning back. great concept, excuse me, in 1999. I don't know if it will work right now or anything like that. But songs I wanted to shout out. This is one of my top five Nas albums. Like I said, this is Illmatic's one. I'm not gonna tell y'all where I put this one at. That'd be cheating, I think, because people's opinions change listening to the album. It can go from 2 to 1, 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 4 to 1. New York State of Mind, Part 2. Hate Me Now is probably one of the biggest songs you probably heard on the album. You Can Hate Me Now.
Which again, I thought was a Puff Daddy song.
Most controversial video on MTV at that time in 1999. They had to edit out the video, him and Diddy on the cross like Jesus and everything like that. So that was a controversial. The song was hot though. I mean, this is coming off the Belly soundtrack, the Belly movie, and everything that came out in I think 97, 98. So there's a gap between the album and stuff, but the Belly soundtrack is another album I wish I had on vinyl. Soundtracks are hard to find. Favor for a Favor, featuring Scarface. Can't go wrong with having Scarface on your album. And Nas is like, that was the first leading single before If I Ruled the World. Nas is like, Nas is like. Next up, I don't have this album. I had this album on CD, but before I get into this, he had dropped Nostradamus. It was a horrible album. That's when I think he was trying to do commercial music, trying to get over that mainstream fans and everything like that. But it was a commercial lackluster. I mean, like he had Genuine on there. I bought the album. I personally, Nas had a good 3 run album from debut, second album, third album. The fourth album, trash. Couple of Nas's albums, the one produced by Kanye, Nasir, we can throw RP Kobe, we can just throw that in the trash right there. But still, Illmatic, this album is where the great debate starts at. When I say this, Jay-Z, September 11th, I will be talking about him in a few minutes. Drop Takeover. Now, I'm a senior in high school at this moment in time. So Jay-Z drops Takeover. We're waiting on Nas to respond. We know Still Illmatic's coming December 18th. So before I go Christmas shopping, I go to On Q to buy the CD. So my girlfriend at the time, my son's mom, Alicia, uh, we walked down to Walmart. I got my CD player, headphones in. Like I got my Walkman batteries, new batteries and everything. So I hear the intro. Next thing I hear is gunshots. Doop, 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 doop. And I hear fuck Jay-Z. And I'm like, oh, got goosebumps halfway through the first verse. I mean, I'm like, oh man. Like I had that what's that outer body
Inner
experience.
body experience.
Like the hair on my arms was sticking
Got
out.
the
We in
goosebumps.
Walmart, yeah, in Walmart Christmas shopping. I had to rerun that twice. And you know how I don't know some of y'all younger or my age, 36, you saw that battery in the corner. So you had to make sure. Cause I ran that song like maybe 4 or 5 times back and I'm just like, man, I don't know what to say. I mean, like, it was just like one of those moments in hip hop, like if you weren't like when I say, excuse me, when I say this, I mean like at that time, we didn't have social media. So when I got home,
Called up all your
I called,
buddies.
hey, we three-waying. And they were like, yo, I'm coming over to your house tomorrow to listen to album. That like we used to have album parties where we just sit there, might not have been over the age of drink, hit Black and Miles and stuff like that, but we would just sit there and just listen to the whole album. Album had 26 songs on there, and we're just sitting up there just like, yep, yep. And I'm 17 at the time. I'm a senior in high school. We're on Christmas break. So, when I got the chance to call Buso, because he hadn't got the album yet, I'm like, man, you gotta go to the OMQ and get that Nas album. Still a man. He's like, oh, did he diss Jay-Z? That was the only reason everybody bought the album, was just to hear if he dissed Jay-Z or not. And he did. Woo! I mean, and we will always have that debate about it. So before the end of the show, I will talk about it. A couple songs I want to shout out. Smoking, like I said, Ether, You're the Man, One Mic. You remember One Mic? Yes. I think that was a hot song and killed it. I always wanted the microphone. Had it right here, but I never did it. The Flyers featuring AZ. Once again, they make beautiful music, if I can call that. They just mesh so together. And besides him dissing Jay-Z on the album, he dissed Mobb Deep and Cormega. Now, Cormega was supposed to be part of the Firm, which was him, Nas, AZ, Foxy Brown, supposedly Cormega. They had issues and it ended up being Nature. An album I like. Critics destroyed the album. It's produced by Dr. Dre. We'll talk about that. So, going on, we're going to get into the Jay-Z. I only have 3 other Jay-Z. Like I said, I'm going to go revisit these albums when I get these albums. Like, if I get maybe 3 more Jay-Z albums, and I'm going to tell you which ones I want. The Black Album. The Blueprint 2. That's a double disc, so I know I'm paying over $60 or $70 on vinyl for that.
A lot more.
Yeah, and American Gangster, I know a lot of people are like, how do you put a soundtrack he does in your top 5?
Because it was good.
Go listen to it. You got Wayne on there. I mean, it's just a good album to me. I don't look at it as a soundtrack. I look at it as an album. But going on, we're going to start it off with Volume 2, Jay-Z, The Hard Knock Life. Now, this is his 3rd album. You have Reasonable Doubt, which is a classic, which I want to get.
Hard to find.
Hard to find. A lot of these vinyls are pressed back in 2014 or 2016. So maybe definitely I might do it again. Uh, like I said, Reasonable Doubt in My Lifetime Volume 1 had Babyface on there. I wasn't a big fan of the album, but this, I feel like this was the album that put Jay-Z on his run. Like, his stock started going up after this album. Uh, I think people like the album more because they heard It's a Hard Knock Life. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody.
I think that from the moment you put it on to the moment it's done, it's a good album.
Um, I got 7 songs I want to shout on here.
Shout them out.
Some of these songs, people are not like, it's not commercially, people didn't listen to, but if you're a hip hop head, you listen to them, Ride or Die, Jigga what?
Jigga who?
Jigga what? Bitch, you'll do. Hey, we can't even, I couldn't even go with the other version of it. A week ago, featuring Too Short, a legend, who done songs with everybody. Tupac, like I said, to Biggie. Money, Cash, Hoes, featuring DMX. Man, DMX, I'm gonna do a DMX vinyl when I get some DMX vinyls. I could have got one, a greatest hit, but I want It's Dark as Hell Is Hot, Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood, and X. What you want from? Yeah, yeah. Coming to the Age, It's Alright, featuring Memphis Bleak. Can I Get a What? Featuring Ja Rule and the Mill. I think that was off the Rush Hour soundtrack. I'm not for sure if that was one or two. Not for sure. But man, this album I think it was coming to Jay-Z, wasn't it?
I think it's when he
When
took off.
yeah, he was in his bag at that moment. Next album, now it goes in order. This is In My Lifetime, Volume 3, The Life and Times of Sean Carter. Another album I had to go to On Q and buy. This album came out on December 28th, 1999. So it'll be 21 years since this album comes out on Monday. And I remember we had a snowstorm right before then. Had my cousin Maine take me up to On Q. He bought a copy of this. I bought a copy of this. That's when CDs, you had to have the CDs. There was no streaming or any, well, I mean, you could stream, but not a lot of people had internet at the time. You had to have CDs. Like every album, you went up to On Q. I mean, like I said, I'm a senior in high school. So, when you go to school, had that disc man, what you listening to? Oh, I got that new Jay-Z album. They're just like, man. And like I worked when I was in high school, so that's where I kind of spent all my money at was On Q. Like I remember buying a NTB generator making beats. Spent $70 on this 3 disc bullshit ass game for PlayStation 1. I couldn't make no beats. Antoine figures it out, and I'm just like, I don't want it no more. Shout out to my brother. Uh, Big Pimpin' was on here. A big single, very big single for him.
Yeah.
I mean, and RP, Pimp C. I mean, it put UGK on the map. I've been listening to UGK because, like I said, UGK, Outkast, 8 Ball and G. I'm not gonna put them in order, but y'all probably know I'm a big Ball and G fan. But it put UGK on the map. Besides Sippin' on Scissor was 3 6 Mafia. Nobody ever heard of UGK unless you listen to hip hop. Am I right or wrong?
You're right.
International player. I mean, but another standout songs on here. Do It Again, featuring Beanie Siegel and the Mill. Man, that's when you had the Rockaway hat, the Timbs on, and everything in the club. I wasn't old enough to get in the club yet, but when I turned 18, hey, I had the Sean Carter shoes and everything. I still got Rockaway stuff. I mean, I got sandals. So I was a big fan. Rockwear outfits and everything. Y'all know Infinity Days. So another song, The Things That You Do, Featuring my ex-wife Mariah Carey. Yes, I've been married twice. Some of y'all didn't know. I'm just joking.
Side note, anytime a Mariah Carey song comes on, I'm like, ooh, it's your favorite.
Yeah, she does say that. But shout out to my ex-wife Mariah. You ain't paying me no child support. I ain't rich yet, so what's going on with that? Next up, It's Hot. Now, this song is when he did 50. I'm about $1. What the fuck is 50 cents? Excuse my language, but I just had to put that on there. The Snoopy track featuring Juvenile, Watch Me and Come Get Me. Come Get Me is like one of those like gems on the album where the beat switches up and he just starts. You know how Jay is. He go crazy. Next up, man, last album right here. This album came out September 11th, 2001. I'm a senior in high school.
Nothing more needs to be said. It's the blueprint.
Yes, a classic. Got 5 mics in the Source magazine. I'm just gonna tell you a little couple stories.
Girls.
Girls. But two little, excuse me, side stories about this. 9/11, Twin Towers had fell. Senior in high school, like I said. Remember watching that early in the morning. Then here in Worcester, we had another situation down at the fairgrounds. I don't want to go into that sad situation right there. I mean, just sad. Then, all right, so I go get the album on Saturday, not thinking nothing. So me and Twan and a friend of ours, we decided not to take the streets instead of going up Cleveland Road, hitting Edgewood. We live off Washington Street, so we thought it'd be quicker to hit the highway on our bikes.
They went on an adventure.
Worst mistake of my life. Probably all of ours, all three of us. So we get up there, and my son's mom, who was my girlfriend at the time, she's at on cue walking out. She asked me what I'm doing, like I'm buying a CD. So she doesn't say nothing to me about it. Next thing I know, she comes over later on. She hands me this Blueprint CD. I was like, I have 2 copies now. So I had 2 copies of the Jay-Z album. Actually, he had pushed his album up. It was supposed to come out September 18th. And he pushed his album up, not knowing what was going to transpire on that day. You had Mariah Carey drop an album. There was a lot of people who dropped albums. Was it a Tuesday? I think a Tuesday.
Yeah.
So you didn't think, and it was usually you dropped albums on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, or Thursday for everybody to go buy the albums on Friday when they got paid. CD wise, that's how. But thank you to LimeWire and Napster for destroying everything from the music industry. But let's go on just talking about this album. I mean,
Song Cry.
man,
That's one of my favorite Jay-Z songs.
Song Cry.
Yeah.
Renegade, we can talk about that now. I'm gonna tell y'all something some of y'all probably don't know about. I know this video is going on like almost 35 minutes, but I'm a big fan of these artists, so I'm happy about doing this. So Renegade wasn't supposed to have Jay-Z on there. Now it was a song with Royce da 5'9" and Eminem on there. The label that Royce da 5'9" was on couldn't clear the song. So Jay-Z, I mean Eminem had already produced it. Eminem already had his verse. Jay-Z gets on there, spits his verse, and it's probably what Nas said. Eminem murders you on your own shit. And I'm not gonna lie about that. As a hip hop fan for years ago, this ain't no debate. If you want to debate about it with me, I'm ready for this one. Eminem killed Jay-Z on the Renegade. You go back and go listen to it right now. Blueprints on Spotify. Go listen to it. I'm just saying that. So let's go into the controversial song we need to talk about. Takeover. Yeah. 4 albums in 10 years, nigga. I can divide one of them shits with two. Two of them shits was do. One was a Illmatic. That's a album every 10-year average.
Yeah.
Woo!
Done.
We can. I mean, this debate has been going on for years about who won that. Bar for bar, we're not gonna get that ever again. But as a true hip hop fan right here, the blows, the real what Jay-Z was saying on Takeover is the truth. Yeah, I sampled your song. You did a hot line. I did a hot song. And I know who I paid. Search Right Publishing. Use your brain. But how many rhymes are gonna come out your fat lips? You pop shit, just ask a kiss. Hey, come on, hey, those bars back in the day, if you wasn't a true hip hop fan, those bars was like, are you a Jay-Z fan or you're Nas fan? I'm in the middle. But
I'm Jay-Z.
Ether went hard, Takeover went hard. So that's how I'm gonna end the show today. Cause I ain't got no winners on it. They're great, they're legends. I'm glad they ended their beef. There was no bloodshed or anything. They did songs together. So it's your boy Jay Winks, my co-host.
Teresa.
I'm out.
Bye, y'all.
Ow.